Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today is going to be a super fun video, so grab your coffee, grab your tea and settle in for some gorgeous decor from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be transforming these Dollar Tree wall hangings into some high-end beautiful decor for your home. Now we're going to get started on the hat. Alright, now that I removed everything extra from the hat, I'm going to grab a scarf. This is one of these long scarves from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to use this faux fur muffler, also from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these apart. I took all the scarves apart, and this one does have a backing on it. I usually just save it for covering DIYs, you know, the back when it's like ugly. We're going to start with the red, and all I'm doing is just putting it over. Come as close as you want to the edge right here, and then hot glue it in the back. I kept all the garland because it just gives it a good cushion, and we're using the same color as the color in the back, so it really doesn't matter. Now we're going to do the bottom of the hat, and what I'm going to do is just start with a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to actually put the fluff side down right here. The reason I want to do that is when you're going to turn it over, it's going to give it like that poof right there on top, and it's going to look really natural and beautiful. At the bottom, it's not that necessary, so at the bottom, we're just going to turn it over and hot glue it on the other side. Just kind of keep it loose. Don't pull it too tight. And now just hot glue the sides in place. On top of the hat, I'm going to grab the pom-pom that was on the end of the red scarf. Give it a generous amount of hot glue. And just stick it to the top right there. For an easy way to decorate the hat, you could just hot glue a pick, something like this. Or maybe one of these picks, and just hot glue it in place. To decorate this, I'm going to grab some branches that I have on hand, and these are just vintage branches from an old tree that my mom took apart a long time ago, and I just painted it white for a previous project a while ago. And I'm just going to be using these. For a similar version, you can definitely use these from the Dollar Tree. These are so cool because they have that plasticky look, and when you put paint over them, that's kind of what they're gonna look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some branches coming here, and then I'm going to do the centerpiece right there. Dollar Tree has so many beautiful poinsettias, and I think this one would look so pretty right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this bottom off. I cut the little thing off, but when you do that, make sure you go right there and hot glue the actual flower to the greenery. And I'm gonna do that on both sides. And there you go. To hang it, I'm just going to grab a piece of jute cord and tie it off in the back right here. I wanted to mention that this video is part of the Colors of Christmas collab. It is hosted by Crafty Leeny and DIY with Nadia, myself, and we are joined by some amazing talented ladies. We all chose different colors, and as you will see today, I will have a lot of red because my color was red. In the description box below, I will attach a Colors of Christmas collab link. Please click on it to see what colors all our ladies chose and what gorgeous DIYs they all made. I always say we all inspire each other, and this playlist is going to be fabulous for that. I cannot wait to see all the beautiful projects all the ladies did in this collab. To get started on our stocking, I'm going to take all of this stuff off. We're only removing the red part of our stocking because we're going to put burlap on here, so we need to brighten this area up. But here we're just gonna keep the white because what we're doing is we're covering this with white. Next, I'm going to go around and get rid of these little things that are sticking out. Now that our stocking is nice and clean, I'm going to put 2 layers of this quilt filling, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the back here. Now it's time to add my burlap. You can use whatever burlap you have on hand. I'm just going to use this burlap sack right here, and I'm going to hot glue it first kind of in place and then cut it because otherwise it's going to fall apart. And I'm going to do 2 layers because the padding of the stocking is going to show through if you don't do 2 layers. And I'm cutting about 1 inch all the way around. Now I'm grabbing a piece of this Dollar Tree infinity scarf, and I'm going to put it right here. And at the bottom, I always like to hot glue with the fur down so it's a smooth look. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? On the edge right there. And I'm just going to hot glue it in place in the back. To decorate our stocking, I'm going to grab some of this Dollar Tree frosted fern. And what I want is I want a few of these kind of hanging down. We're going to put them in different heights too. The middle one I want to be the longest. This one a little shorter and this one a little shorter. And as you can see, I have a little sidekick over here supervising me, making sure I'm doing everything correctly. Thank you, Leo. Where would I be without you? All right, just very simple. I'm not doing anything extravagant here. And then I'm going to fill in with these. Going to cut some of these down, and these are going to face up. I want it to cascade really nicely here, and I'll come back to these if I have to. But in the center, I'm going to put some pine cones. Now, these I bought like this. They are just basically painted on the edges with a little bit of white paint. This is perfect as it is. Just add a little bit right here to fill it in. But I do have to incorporate some red in my project. So I'm going to grab some of these berries and I'm just going to throw in a few of them. To get started on the candy cane, the first thing I'm going to do is basically remove everything on it, including this bow. And now I'm going to go around the edges and just using my wire cutter, get all of those little things that are sticking out and get rid of them. All right, now I have my candy cane nice and smooth on the edges. I'm grabbing this shop towel. This is from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use these towels to cover my candy cane. I'm just gonna cut it in half. This is going to be the background, so no need to be very careful with it and whatnot. I'm going to fold the towel in two and start wrapping it around my wreath. I used up 2 towels for the candy cane, and you have 3 left over to wash the floors or something. Now I'm grabbing this 2.5-inch ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start rolling it around our candy cane. But first, I'm going to kind of leave a little bit on here so that I can tuck it in later. Try to keep these kind of on the even side. Okay, now that our candy cane has all that red, I'm grabbing some grosgrain ribbon and I'm going to wrap it around all of these lines so they're not even going to be shown. I do try to use the hot glue in the back as much as I can. To decorate our candy cane, I'm grabbing the 1.5-inch grosgrain ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to do a layered bow. And I'm hoping we're going to just have a cute little decor. Right there, made a simple bow that I hot glue. Then I'm going to grab this ribbon. This was also from the Dollar Tree. We don't want to make it too small or too big. Just hot gluing it right on top. Grabbing another piece of the red ribbon. It's going to get covered up. Otherwise, if you were to do just a ribbon without a centerpiece, I would use a white ribbon for this part. With grosgrain ribbon, you kind of have to control the tails. And, you know, here you could see that we want them to actually go down just a little bit because they're sticking out to the sides just a little too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the back of one of my tails, right there in the corner. Just give it a little bit of hot glue. And then you're going to push it down and hot glue that in place. And as you can see, the one I glued down is going down and this one is going to the side. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing in the back of it, dollop of hot glue and push it down. Next, I'm going to grab these foam scatters and I'm going to grab one white snowflake and I'm going to hot glue it in the middle. Last, I'm just going to cut the tails on an angle. To get started on this little ornament, the first thing I'm going to do is just start removing everything. And the easiest way to do it is, well, it's best to find the beginning of it. But then on the sides here, all you have to do is really just kind of pull it on the sides because they're being held by these little tabs. Now it's time to cover this ornament. I'm going to be using the loft batting. This is basically the stuff they use to make quilts. If you don't have something like this on hand, just use any fleece fabric or Dollar Tree blankets or scarves and you can get the same effect. Before I get going, I'm going to use some wire cutters and get rid of all these little pegs that held the little garland in place. I got 2 layers of the padding here and I just cut a square out and I'm going to put my little topper at the top and of course we're going to turn this upside down so it's kind of stands like a plate and I'm just going to start hot gluing starting from the top. After I got my 4 corners, I'm just going to bring in all the sides. Next, I got some tulle, and I'm going to fold it into 4, so there's 4 layers on top of my little ornament. And I usually get these on clearance at Joann Fabric or sometimes at Walmart. So just look out for those in the clearance sections. You can find some really pretty ones. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have my little corner so that my topper is covered with one of the corners. And then we are just going to flip this and just hot glue it in the back. All right, my ornament is all covered, and now I'm going to grab my favorite greenery from the Dollar Tree, and this is this fern that's covered in white, and it has a little sparkle to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the vines. And I'm starting by hot gluing these long ones, and I'm kind of pointing towards the center. Here we're going to have a bow that's going to cascade. So it's going to cover all those tips. Now I got my little branches, and I'm going to hot glue those in place. Now for the bow, I'm going to be using this 1.5 inch grosgrain ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to make just a sweet little simple bow. Dab a little hot glue. Then I'm grabbing a red grosgrain ribbon. And this one is also from the Dollar Tree and 5/8 inch. Making a smaller bow to put right on top. Now I'm going to overlap the smaller one over the bigger one. We're going to fold in, fold out, so it like stands out really nicely. Here you can grab a floral wire, or I'm just going to grab a piece of a pipe cleaner just to bring it together. Next, I'm just grabbing some white grosgrain ribbon, and this is the 5/8 inch, and I'm just going to use it for the middle here. Now I'm just cutting the corners here. You can also cinch the edges if you like. I decided not to. And we're going to hot glue it in place. I feel like we need some more greenery here. To hang this ornament, I'm just looping a piece of jute cord and tying it off in the back. I hope you enjoyed all these makeovers for the wall hangings or the wreaths, and let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye, my friends.